We're back. I'm Brandon. This is Brian, and we're talking Basebald.
Yes, sir.
We had some, NL West this week. We had some exciting news, some exciting events come up this week. Why don't you tell our fans about it?
True. We've been doing this for about a month now, and we started talking with some of the blogging sites around town here in Houston. We got invited to write for Climbing Towels Hill, which is a fan-sided blog site for the Houston Astros, and we're real excited. I've already got a post up there, and I think you've got one coming up. And
really good story by you. Congratulations on the 2005 tragedy, and then how it affected our chances in the World Series.
Cool home run, yes, yeah.
Really good writing.
Thanks. No,
Proud of you. Congratulations.
But today we're going to talk NL West. This is our wrap up of our divisional previews. And this one's not very easy either. I mean, none of these were really very easy except for the NL East.
Yeah, I picked the team number one. It surprised me that I was not expecting to pick, and so I guess you'll just have to stick around to the end to see who I picked. But let's just jump right into. I guess the Diamondbacks. We're gonna make this quick.
First base Goldschmidt,
and moving on. Now, A.J. Pollock, really nice in center field. Chris Owings at shortstop. Aaron Hill's second base. They got Trumbo coming back to play in the outfield, so that defense I don't know about.
I know about it. It's going to be awful.
Yes, Monty Tomas, they're going to give him a chance at third base. I don't know how that's going to work out. I don't know how the bat's going to play. You got a somewhat of a good track record with some Cuban players, but it sure seems like a lot to be throwing that kid in there.
They're desperate to make a splash. And
really, besides Goldschmidt, and the bullpen is nice with Reed anchoring and a lot of good setup men.
There are a lot of good arms in their pen.
They're going to need a good pen this year because that starting rotation, there's not much to it. They made some trades, sending Wade Miley and getting back Alan Webster and Ruby De La Rosa. One of those guys hopefully should... You'd think come through. I would give
both in the rotation.
I would bet on De La Rosa with the better arm and coming through. They still have Josh Colementor. They traded for Jeremy Hellickson, who just hasn't looked great the last couple of years. I worry about him pitching in that ballpark. Not much else to talk about unless Daniel Hudson comes back healthy. It's pretty scary. Patrick Corbin's going to be out for at least half the season. Same thing with Bronson Arroyo. There's just not much there. I don't think they're going to be in very many games. I don't think they can pitch. I don't think they can play defense. I don't think they can hit outside of Goldschmidt. So I don't want to spend too much more time on them. I think they're in the bottom, and a lot of people are going to be beating up the Diamondbacks this year. Do you have anything to add?
No, let's do this. Let's not spend any more time on them.
All right.
Right up now.
Done.
Colorado.
The Rockies, one of the best lineups in all of baseball, if they're healthy. I mean, you got to start with Tulowitzki and Cargo, but you can never count on them for more than.
You've only had to say that the last few years. With Tulo, it's been forever.
Yeah,
he looked like he was going to finally do it all last year. He looked awesome, and then hurt again.
You'd like to see him put one full season, big season together, just put that team on his back and do well, but he just cannot stay healthy. Cargo seems to have the same problem, maybe even worse.
Yeah, at this point, for Cargo, I think he's not going to do 140 games a year again. I don't see it.
No, and you got Blackman and Dickerson, who seem to be the prototypical Coors Field outfielders that can do a little bit of everything, and they look really good. Their numbers look really good when they're at home, and by the end of the season, they ended up with some good numbers, but I don't know if that's exactly who they are or they're that type of player.
Well, Nolan Arenado is going to be a bright spot for them.
Arenado at the hot corner, and then they got Morneau coming back, who put together a really solid year. Let that Coors Field get into him and put together a nice year. And then LeMahieu, right, is playing second base. They're also, I think, you'll see Willeen Rosario get to play against some left-handers at first base this year. Maybe even try him in the outfield, which would be surprising.
That would be surprising.
But I think McHenry. I don't
A
think
lot of ground to cover
Yeah, I
out there.
don't think it's going to be. Yeah, well, it's not just Coors. You got a big San Diego. You got a big Arizona. You got a big Los Angeles. San Francisco's big. That division. You're not. I don't know where they would have the chance to play Rosario on the outfield, but I think they're going to at least kick the idea around in spring. They have McHenry, who they really like, and has a nice bat behind the plate and a little bit better defensive player. They also have Nick Hundley, but I think McHenry gets most of the time, with Rosario splitting time around different positions.
How about the rotation?
I do not like it.
Do not like it either.
No.
Got, De La Rosa, Chacin, and Lyles.
Lyles,
Jordan Lyles, the old Astro.
they've got
A young live arm, but
Kendrick is still there. Tyler Matzik looks like he may have put some stuff together towards the end of the year, but we'll see if that's for real or not. They're going to have to start relying on some of their draft picks here. Eddie Butler didn't look like he performed very well. John Gray may be ready some point this year, but just the pitching staff is not good. Not for that ballpark. And with Tulo and Cargo, LaTroy Hawkins anchoring the bullpen, it's not a bad bullpen actually, but I just don't think this team's going to have enough. And personally, I'd like to move on and talk about the cream of the crop in this division.
All right, let's get into the top three teams that we think are going to be really the contenders in this division. Let's start with San Diego. They made some moves.
They do stuff this offseason?
I think they did.
All right, for all of you guys that are just watching, just saying, hey, I want to see what's going on this year with and who's on what team, Padres are a completely different team.
Yeah.
They went out and made huge moves. Got Will Myers to play the outfield. They got Matt Kemp, Justin Upton, Derek Norris, Middlebrooks to play third. And they signed James Shields. And that's where I want to start talking, man. Because
Pitching?
I think they have the best pitching staff in the division. Yes, you heard me right, Clayton Kershaw. James Shields, Ian Kennedy, Tyson Ross, Cashner, Despaigne. You got Liebke and Josh Johnson coming back at some point in the year. They're going to be very deep, and those top four, I love Tyson Ross so much. God, he's good looking. And the bullpen is solid with Benoit. I think it's going to be hard to score runs against them in that ballpark. And with the additions they've made, they will be able to play defense around the infield. Not much. I don't see them getting much offense out of that infield.
No.
But hopefully the outfield will provide some of that, and they can win some 4-2, 3-2 games.
So I'm thinking that infield's kind of brutal looking right now. You don't know what to expect from Giorgio at second base at this point. He just totally melted down last year, and we'll see if he can come back. You got Solarte and Middlebrooks battling for third base, a couple of NL East cast-offs, and Yonder Alonso at first. I don't think they do much for your offense at all, and you're really counting on Kemp staying healthy. Upton, I don't know. Upton and Myers, they have all the potential in the world, but how they can do it. We'll see. See how they adjust that ballpark. Those three outfielders I think are the big key, and those were the big signings. Other than Shields, obviously, that's where the difference is going to be made, because that's the only way they're going to score any runs.
They have some defense up the middle with Amarista and Barmas playing some short. I think this is the last straw for Yonder Alonso. I think he gets his chance to be that first baseman, but I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Myers is actually at first base and Will Venable and Cameron Maven are playing center field at some point this year. I don't think Yonder Alonso has proven himself, and I don't think he's long to be at first base.
Severance package is good though.
So we're really big on the Padres. We like their moves, makes them exciting. At least Justin Upton there for 1 year. But I love Matt Kemp. Looked healthy when he came back at the second half last year. Had probably the best second half of anybody in baseball last year. So we're really excited to see what he can do. The pitching staff's awesome. But let's go ahead and move on to the top two dogs. One won the division, one won the championship.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go straight to the Dodgers. They did a lot of moving and shaking themselves.
They did. I have a little bit. I know it's not going to sound great to you, but I have the addition by subtraction with Mr. Kemp. I think that his ego and all that stuff, the way that played in the clubhouse was not good. They were lucky that they have such a stud manager, Don Mattingly, to take care of them during that whole awful period. But now we've got a chance to open it up for Jock Peterson to come up and play center field. You've got Puig in right field, Crawford's in left, and you still have Andre Ethier as the swing man / fourth outfield guy.
See, I have a problem with that. Let me just stop you there. Everybody always makes it sound like that's a great outfield. Jock Peterson looks like he has potential. He's a rookie. He's never played in the majors before. We're going to see what he can actually do. He could possibly be an all-star, but he's got to prove himself. I'm in the minority in thinking Mr. Puig is slightly overrated. Actually, I think he's way overrated. I love his defense. He's got good, the cannon of an arm. I love to watch it. I just don't think he's the big bat in the middle that everybody else does. And he's never hit 20 home runs in a season. And then you've got aging Kyle Crawford and Andre Ethier. I just don't think it sounds as good as everybody thinks.
Well, don't forget about Adrian Gonzalez. What he does for that lineup is huge.
He's the key to the team. But I also like what they did, bringing in Howie Kendrick and Jimmy Rollins up the middle. You got a little long in the tooth, but I think
Some
still
pros.
Yeah, and I think Jimmy proved last year that he is not done. So hopefully, I think they're hoping they can get one more year out of him before Seager's ready. Seager may have to play some third base, but right now it's Juan Uribe over there.
He's doing a great job.
And then they got in that trade with the Kemp trade, they got Yasmani Grandal to help A.J. Ellis out behind the plate. But the strength of this team is the pitching.
Sure, and it all starts with Clayton Kershaw. Certainly, he's the best pitcher in MLB right now. But you come right behind him with Zach Greinke and Ryu. I love that top three.
Yep, and if healthy, I like the top four with Brandon McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
His second half was really nice last year for the Yankees. Playing in that ballpark, in that division, showing he was healthy. I think now moving over to the National League where you got the pitcher there and playing in those big ballparks, I think he's going to be in for a nice season. They also signed Brett Anderson.
Yeah.
So they're a little deep. You're going to have a lot of things go your way. Stay healthy. But it hasn't started off that way for them, and that's why I think you're going to find with a little uncertainty in the bullpen, which I didn't like to begin with.
Kenley Jansen got hurt.
Kenley Jansen gets hurt now. Although it's just a foot injury, he's going to have surgery. You don't know when he's coming back. There's no guarantee.
He's a big guy, too. So
might miss the first month. You're hoping it's only the first couple of weeks. But you never know. And so do they go out and sign someone? Do they use Brandon League? I mean, it's just an already bad bullpen, I think. They did have Joel Peralta there as well. So, I mean, it's not like they're totally void of any talent down there. And, you've got to respect Andrew Friedman and everything that they've done in the past. So that, obviously, they have, 6 general managers right now? So I'm sure with that collection of over there, they know what they're doing. But I just
they've got the money. You think they can go out there and snag one of those closers that's still out on the market?
I do. Rafael Soriano seems to be a good fit there. We'll see if they actually spend some money with Scott Boras being their client. He can be a little difficult to deal with. But I think with everything, I think losing Matt Kemp's going to be a little bit bigger than everybody else. The bullpen issues, I think that they're going to struggle the first couple months. And when I say struggle, they're not going to be as good as people think right off the bat. But it'll be fun watching Kershaw, as always. And so let's talk about the defending champs. San Francisco Giants. I took a look at them. They lost Pablo Sandoval. They lost Mike Morris. That's most of their power, because this team didn't have much power to begin with.
It's not really their game.
No, that's not their game. They brought in Nori Aoki to play some outfield. He's going to split some time, I would guess, with Gregor Blanco. You're hoping Angel Pagan comes back and finally stay healthy in center field.
That guy's a great hitter.
And then you've got one of the greatest players of all time in right field.
Hunter Pence, of course.
Hunter Pence, we love you, Pence. Always solid. You know what you're going to get. You're going to get your 25 home runs. You're going to get your 85 runs scored, 85 RBIs. He's solid across the board. He's the heart and soul of that team. I know Pablo played great in the off season, but during the season he just didn't. He wasn't there a lot of the time.
No.
Posey and Pence, I think those are your two keys to that team as they go.
Yeah.
As they go, I think they'll be fine. Looking for a bounce back year from Brandon Belt.
I think he's gonna have it. I think it's gonna a lot's gonna hinge on him.
Yeah. Joe Panic now will be there a whole year. Give some defense, some enthusiasm. At second base, Brandon Crawford, great underrated glove at shortstop, and they did fill that void at third base by signing a pro, McGahee, and who had a very nice year last year.
He did.
And
no power.
No,
power's gone.
He didn't hit for any power.
He batted over 300.
Lots of RBIs.
Doing a good job.
You could slot him in there as a 6-hole hitter, I think.
Seems to be a good fit for San Francisco.
But the key to this team, and I think we saw it in the playoffs, is how deep they are throughout the entire staff. From top to bottom, 1 through 5 in the starting rotation, all the way through that bullpen. They've just got stacked arms, and I love it. I think they're going to start off with Casilla as the closer, but they've got Romo out there. They've got Affelt, Lopez, Machi.
Embarrassment of riches.
It's the bullpen is solid. You can count on them. And then let's just go ahead and start talking about this starting rotation, because I think they're getting overlooked a little bit with the Dodgers, and now with Padres being so deep, you kind of forget that you got Bumgarner, Hudson, Peavy, Vogelsong, Yusmero Petit is there, had a solid year last year. Oh yeah, by the way, you have this guy Matt Cain coming back.
Let's not forget about him. Let's not throw him on the dumpster yet.
And still on that pitching staff, Tim Lincecum. So should be able to help you out somewhere, either in the rotation or maybe in the bullpen. Now that he's getting a little bit up there, he's not that old, but arm wise.
Yeah. He's small frame, all that kind of stuff.
So all that being said, I'm sticking with the champs. I'm the World Series champs. I'm taking them number 1. That was a surprise to me, but I'm going Giants. Giants number 1. I really wanted to say the Padres, but I think just a little bit better at all the positions. The batting lineup, they're a little deeper. I'm worried about the bullpen, but I think the Padres are still going to struggle scoring runs, even with the additions of Upton and Kemp and Myers. So I put the Dodgers in number 2, but I think they're going to be neck and neck with the Padres, and one of those teams will win a wild card because they're going to be beating up on the Diamondbacks and Rockies. How do you see it?
I've got the Dodgers. I got the Dodgers winning. They got the best pitcher, and they've got the best manager. I'm a big Don Mattingly fan, if you haven't caught that yet. I love I love the top 3 in that rotation. I think Ryu is so underrated. I love that guy.
No, definitely.
And I don't know. I think the distraction of Kemp and that question is he going to play? Is he not going to play? Is he going to have a problem playing right field instead of center field? All these other things, I'm glad that's out of the way. I want to see the rest of these guys play. I'm not saying that Jock Peterson's going to come in there and do as well or better than Matt Kemp, certainly, but I think that the team will do a better job without that distraction, and their pitching is going to carry them. I think the Giants are awesome, but they're all God. I know they won the damn championship again last year, and you're like, who hit for them? Who's hitting home runs? They don't have any power on their team. It's amazing. But I have them coming in second. I think it's going to be a close race. That's just the way I see it happening. Obviously, it's way up in the air. Who's going to stay healthy? Who's going to have big years? Is there anything left in the tank for, or how much is left in the tank for Tim Hudson, Jake Peavy, these kind of guys, Lincecum, if they need them. and it's going to be a good race at the top there. But yeah, I think the Padres didn't do quite enough to get me excited enough about them. I got them third, Giants second, Dodgers first.
All right. Well, I think that concludes all the division races, and we'll come back and talk about who we expect to have Rookie of the Year kind of years and MVPs.
Our award winners, preseason.
Preseason award winners, yeah. I'm sure they'll be all right. Across the board, we're going to nail every single one. So you'll want to tune in for that one.
Yeah.
But this has been a lot of fun. I'm getting to see what this guy thinks and who's going to win the divisions. I hope you enjoyed it. And so for my brother Brian, I'm Brandon. Go Stros.
Go Stros.
We're talking baseball. Klazuski, Campanella talking baseball. The Man and Bobby Fella, the Scooter, the Barber and the Nuke. They knew 'em all from Boston.